Hello, my internet besties, and welcome to episode 2 of Beauty Behind the Eyes. I am your host, Azariah Monet, and I just want to say I'm so happy that you guys are here right now. Hey, listen, for this episode, we are going to dig deep into my background, my story, who I am, let you guys get to know a little bit about me, and also how I became the person I am today. Listen, your girl has gone through trials and tribulations, heartbreaks, definitely being tested by the Lord and just a lot of things. But I know that my testimony and my story will go ahead and make sure it's going to point you guys into the right direction, into maybe your life and, have an impact on yourself as well. So for this episode, we're going to really dig deep. It is now Sunday to when I'm recording this, and I'm just going to be very vulnerable and truly be honest about, why I started my fitness journey, my battle with self-confidence and body dysmorphia. And I can't wait to just hear you guys connect. So go ahead, get comfy like I am right now. Go ahead and get some water, sip some wine, because we're going to go ahead and dig deep, okay? Let's just go ahead and start out who I am, because you guys are probably wondering, okay, we need to know a little bit about you, okay? This is our second episode, you know what I'm saying? So let's dig deep, right? All right, you guys, my name is Azariah Monet. I am currently 23 years old. My birthday just passed on July 6th, okay? And I actually just graduated with my bachelor's degree in business management from East Carolina University, okay? So black girl and educated, everything, okay? I just got my degree and whatnot, and I'm currently in my post-grad life. It's definitely a lot of trials and tribulations, but I am following God to lead me to where I want to be, okay? So I am originally from Charlotte, North Carolina, grew up, raised, whatnot. Grew up here. Most of my family are here. I also have family in the DMV area in Texas or whatever. And so growing up, I was raised by a single mother. I do have four other siblings from her, and then a bunch of other kids from my deadbeat father. Okay, we ain't even gonna get into that. All right, just listen. We ain't even gonna get into that. All right, so that's kind of just a little background, grew up with a single mom. My mom had me when she was about 19, and, me and my mom, obviously we're 20 years apart, but yeah, my mom had me when she was 19. I've seen her work, hard to, go on to get her bachelor's and go into her master's and becoming a nurse. And just seeing her work definitely just shows a lot, especially at a young age. Again, didn't really have my biological dad in my life, but I've had my stepdad in my life, and he's definitely been a pinpoint to who I am today. And so growing up, I've always been a very curvy girl. Okay, always been a curvy girl. I've always loved dance. I've been a dancer over 15 years now, and I used to cheer. I did color guard in high school. I did a lot of things, but I've always struggled with body dysmorphia. I grew up in a predominantly white area, and coming, from a black woman, growing up in a predominantly white area is it's a struggle. It's a struggle. It's hard. It's definitely, it definitely tests you and show you, how you will be treated, as just a black woman in America. So kind of just going back from when I was younger, like I said, I struggled with a lot of body dysmorphia. I didn't always love myself. I didn't always deem myself as beautiful, but I never wanted to be anything but black, okay? I never wanted to be anything but black, okay? I wanted to be black. Listen, I loved myself. I loved my skin. I never wanted to be anything such, but just growing up to where I am, I'm going to a school with all white people, and, it was always shown that was just the beauty standard. So I didn't grow up really loving myself, and I had a lot of problems with the way I looked. I didn't think I was very beautiful, you know what I'm saying? Also too, I always poured a lot into my friendships and stuff like that, but I didn't really always think I was beautiful. And in high school, I used to always think I was so fat, and I was actually my smallest because I was in the color guard, the dance team. I was actually at my lightest weight, but I just didn't deem myself as beautiful. I've always been a very compassionate person, of me going out of my way for others. I'm a helper. I have a loving spirit, and I love helping people, y'all. And sometimes people tend to take advantage of that, and you can't give that to everyone. So that's just kind of who I am. I'm a helper. I'm very heavy in community service, you guys. I've been doing community service since I was in 7th grade. Okay, I love helping people. I love I just love making a difference in people's lives. And I know my sole purpose, God has given my sole purpose, is to change the world. And I know that may sound cliche, but that's truly, who I am. I have a very good spirit. And so, in school, I was captain of the color guard team. Okay, listen, your girl was captain of the color guard team on a predominantly white team. Okay, and listen, that didn't even come easy. Okay, but in high school, just my experience in high school, like I said, I went through a lot. Even in middle school, I went through a lot. I used to get bullied, y'all. People used to make fun of my hair, my weight, everything. Like I was in a deep depression. Like I promise you guys, I was in such a deep depression that there was times where, I would call a suicide hotline. Obviously, I didn't attempt, but like I would call a suicide hotline because I was so depressed. I was going through so much at the age of 14. Okay, I was going through a lot. I was in a very deep depression. I didn't love myself. I also ended up getting sick or whatnot, and I lost about 40 pounds. And that's really when, I started just to get more active and moving my body, also too, just being in color guard and the dance team. So it definitely really helped for sure. And I even made that my outlet of just having fun, and also too pushing and working hard. I was always a hard worker, you guys. In the backyard, I'm twisting a flag, throwing a rifle and a saber, what I'm saying, in rain. There was no one that could take away my determination or deter me to who I am. And so I work really hard. I've always been a very hard worker. I've always been hard on myself, and I tend to not feel like I'm good enough, and that's something I'm still battling. But in my early years in high school, that's something that I had to learn to have more confidence in myself, right? So listen, when it came to me getting captain as a junior and my senior year in high school, I always say that was the pinpoint to why I have the confidence I am today. Because for one, when I got that position, you guys, I was not expecting it, okay? Listen, I was not expecting it. I knew I worked really hard, but I wasn't expecting it because most of like captain, things like that, always went to seniority. You know what I'm saying? It always went to seniority or whatever. So when I got that position, like it caused a big world. Girl, listen, I had young girls hating on me. Okay, I had young girls hating on me. I had parents. Okay, I had parents coming at me on Facebook because their little Miss Sally didn't get a captain position. Okay, and listen, your girl got that captain position, black woman and everything, and a junior. Okay, and that came with a lot of heat to it, right? And so me, I'm like, I didn't ask for this position, you know what I'm saying? Like, these people up here bullying me, they talking trash about me, they hating on me, you know what I'm saying? There was a lot of people also, even, the underclassmen under me, those were the main people giving me respect. I got a lot of respect from a lot of underclassmen because I was a great leader. I was a great leader, you guys. I was compassionate. I worked hard. I made no excuses, you know what I'm saying? And my work spoke for itself. So it was a lot of people that did not like that. And then coming from, being in a predominantly white area as a black woman, that's a lot of threat to them type of people. So they didn't like that. They didn't like that this black girl have all this confidence, not cocky, but have all this confidence, also works really hard. They didn't like that. They could not take that away from me. They did not like that, y'all. They didn't. And I felt a lot of pressure because I'm like, God, like, I didn't ask for this. I did not ask for this at all. Okay, I didn't ask for this. But I'm like, Lord, like, why are you putting me through this? Like, I didn't ask for this. But I always say that is what I needed to where I am today. And it goes so deep because God had to awaken something in me to show me, Azariah, you have so much potential. You don't know, like, you are a warrior. You are a leader. You are a good person. You work hard. You make no excuses. You work harder than some of them other girls on that team. You are meant to lead. You are meant to lead because you're going to be making a bigger impact. And at the time, I'm a junior in high school. I didn't understand. I was going through a deep depression. I wanted to quit. I want to be like, you know what? Y'all can have it. Y'all want the freaking position that bad? Y'all can freaking have it. But I didn't do it. I stuck it through. I kept my head held high. And even when those girls went low, listen, I went high. Okay? I went high. Yes, there was times where I wanted to cuss some of them out or whatever, but I didn't because God's going to handle them in different ways, right? And so I kept my same smile. I kept on showing up. I kept on treating people how they wanted to be treated. And like I said, I made a really big impact on the underclassmen under me, even after I graduated and, even after I graduated and they, went on to, graduate as well, they always come back to me and say, Zara, you made just such a big impact. And so, like I said, I ended up getting that my junior and senior year, and I felt like it was just amazing because I felt like it was everything like I truly needed to just make that, to become, who I am today, right? So that's why I always say, like, me, sorry, got my leg cramping up. Ooh. So me getting that position really did jump off of God showing me you have to have more confidence in yourself. And the fact that I can think back in that time, I didn't think I was worthy of a lot of things because I didn't think my body was beautiful. I didn't think I was beautiful. I just didn't love myself, right? The way I do today. I didn't. And so COVID happens, right? COVID happens. We're in the house. I'm like, Lord, like, I'm not getting a junior. I'm not getting a senior. I'm not getting a band season. Like, oh my gosh, Lord. And also, too, I just want to hang out with my friends, and in COVID, a lot of people showed their hands when it came to friendships. Okay. A lot of people showed their hands when it came to friendships. All right. And I'm like, Lord, like, I really want to, I'm like, Lord, I don't know what to do. So I was like, you know what? I want to start working out again. I want to start focusing on my nutrition, right? This is where we're going to go into the sector of my fitness journey, okay? And how it really started. 2020, I'm like, Lord, I want to start working out more. I want to learn how to live a healthier life because, again, growing up in a black household, you're not going to, we weren't taught different things. We always ate fast food or something that was quick because it was cheaper. So, yeah, so I didn't know ways of like a healthier lifestyle. Like, I didn't know what the right foods to eat. So during COVID, I really wanted to make that change. I ended up joining a challenge, and I also ended up like literally losing about like 15 pounds. And you guys, I was happier than ever. You guys, I was working, actually my first job was literally Popeyes, but I was working as a lifeguard around this time, working at the YMCA, and also too I was working as manager at a pool or whatnot. So I'm working hard. I joined that challenge, and that challenge really taught me a lot of discipline on the right foods to eat, nutrition, and how to meal prep, and how to really watch what you're eating. So I stopped eating fast food, you guys. I was locked in. I was working out really hard. Even when I went to Myrtle Beach with my friends at the time, I was still working out. I was still making sure I stuck to something that I signed up for, and I seen a lot of results from it, right? And it gave me something to like do in COVID because there was things that just in COVID, no one had nothing to do. We were just in the house, right? And I remember during this time, like I said, I brought this podcast mic in 2020. I remember I said, let me start a podcast before everybody else started, but what am I going to talk about? So even though we're here 5 years later, we're not going to stay stuck on that. That was the last episode. We're going to continue to move forward. But fast forward to 2020 of that end of the year, I was in dance. I was doing across the floors, and I ended up literally popping my hamstring. And that led me into a depression. Mind you, I'm in my senior year, COVID. That led me into the depression. And then I ended up actually having to go to physical therapy for 7 months. And so I was depressed. I ended up gaining about 30 pounds back. So all that work I did for that challenge, it was just not working, y'all. It was just not working. It just kind of felt like I was starting over, and I felt just very depressed. I'm in the house. I don't have a senior year. Like, it's sad, right? So I said in 2021, I was like, you know what? I'm going to start weightlifting. And I talked a lot about this, with a lot of people that asked me where did my journey really start. Started weightlifting. I actually ended up putting all the way up to like 50 pounds, lifting 50-pound dumbbells by April, you guys. I got up every single morning, 4 or 5 o'clock, every single morning, went in the gym. Even though I wasn't supposed to be, hitting legs or whatever, I got up every single morning, hitting the gym. And it's amazing too when you have those morning people, pushing hard as well with you. And it's just a great motivation. But yeah, I was up every single morning and everything. But the sad thing is I was still going through depression. I wasn't eating enough, and I wasn't getting a lot of sleep. So yes, I'm building muscle, but I'm also building fat on top of muscle. So it was a healthy combination. I ended up gaining weight, and it just wasn't a good thing. I was also working over 40 hours a week while doing online school because it's still COVID for a pool company that did not give a rat's ass about me, okay? They did not freaking care. They did not care. I'm working 12 hours just by myself at this pool, at a one guard pool, you guys. And that company did not care. All right. They didn't even care. So around this time, I ended up graduating in May of 2021. And I actually, I got my diploma, and that time was such a blurry time because I was so stressed, you guys. I was going through so much depression, trying to figure out what school I wanted to go to. I knew I wanted to go to a HBCU. I'm like, it was a lot of things that happened in 2020, the whole Black Lives Matter movement. At this time, my outlook at how I view white people, it changed. Like, how I view a lot of things changed, really seeing a lot of things for what it was, you know what I mean? And so I really wanted to go to a HBCU. I wanted to go to FAMU or Howard. Didn't get in there or whatever. Didn't get in there, and I would have gotten FAMU, but they didn't take they wanted SAT scores, and remember, we weren't doing that around that time. So I'm like, we're just gonna go to North Carolina A&T. Ended up transferring. Literally, ended up transferring after a semester or two, because I didn't really want to go there for real. I never really wanted to go to A&T for real. Okay, never really wanted to. I grew up around there. Like, I grew up in Charlotte, North Carolina. So like, I knew I didn't want to go to that school. Only went because of my friends at the time. And I didn't want to be alone. I actually ended up transferring to ECU later on or whatnot. And around that time, like I said, you guys, I was going through a really dark time in 2021. I got into a toxic relationship that lasted about like a year and a half, and I was going through a lot. So in 2022, I said something's got to change. So I started working out, going out a lot harder, working out more, just being a little bit more committed. I'm still trying to figure things out. I'm working as pool manager, life is going on, and, just doing what I can do. And so I finally transferred to ECU my sophomore year, and it was a dark time. It was a dark time. I was trying to get as social as I could, you know what I mean? As you guys see, I got my Trini necklace on, okay? One good thing that came out of just being at North Carolina A&T, I just love the people. I love the culture. I ended up actually joining the Caribbean dance team at the time, performed at GHO. Okay. I felt more connected to my culture, that I wasn't really close to just growing up and stuff like that. So, I definitely enjoyed my time. But I knew I couldn't see myself graduating from there. And like I said, when I went to ECU, I was just trying to get involved. So I got involved in the NAACP. I got involved in the Caribbean Student Organization. I became event coordinator. That led me to meeting, some lifelong friends and such. So it was definitely something. And also, I was in a long distance relationship at the time. So I'm still trying to find myself. And I remember I was just going through a deep depression. And second semester of me being there, I knew something was about to change. Around this time, I'm trying to get closer to God. I'm just being more intentional in my relationship. I feel like we're on the rocks. I'm like, we came together, and I thought it was God brought us together, but that definitely was not the case. Okay, so anytime I was trying to talk about God and just do something different by myself, like my partner at the time was just not supportive at all, and I'm just like, yeah, like, it's time to let this go. But God, I don't think it's going to be on my terms, honestly, because it's hard to let certain stuff go, right? And I remember I was going through a deep dark depression. I remember I was at ECU, and I took myself out for a first solo date and everything. I took myself out to a solo date, and I remember when I told my ex or whatever, he actually looked at me like I was crazy. He was like, wow, that's weird, why would you go by yourself, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. So we actually ended up breaking up, and it was a dark time. But when I tell you guys, I still went out, I still lived my life. I did not soak in pain. I started making more friends spring semester. I started going out a lot more. At this time, I'm still in the gym, you guys. I'm still working out. And at this time, I'm just working out to just stay healthy and do what I can do. I wasn't even trying to really lose weight. I was powerlifting for a few years before that. So I was just trying to live heavy shit. Okay. That's all your girl was trying to do. Be strong. Right. And so I felt like things were turning up. But yeah, I did go through my breakup, and that took me through a range of emotions. But listen, I say this, I will die on this hill, but I say this all the time. I'm so grateful that God put me through that relationship. Unfortunately, God showed me multiple times that relationship was not for me, but I had to go through stuff to just see it for what it was. You get what I'm saying? And so when we broke up, it was tough, but that really what pushed me closer to God. But God was with me during those nights when I was depressed, during those nights where I was sad, during those times where I was angry. God was there. God was there. And I think, listen, wherever that person is, my ex, whatever, wherever he is right now, wish him all the best. Okay. God bless you. God bless you. Because listen, I say thank you. Me going through that really pushed me to where I am today. And so 2023, you guys, I'm going in my senior year. I'm having fun. I'm going out more, I'm having a good time and everything, but also too, my discernment is growing a lot more, right? I'm rethinking certain friendships and relationships, and I'm just thinking about a lot lot of things, right? And when 2024 came, you guys, I said I was not about to bring baggage into there. It took me about a year and a half to heal from my relationship and just learn a lot of things. I learned to love myself. I learned to be more independent. I love to just live life and have fun. I learned so much stuff that it needed to happen. And so during that time, my confidence grew. I'm wearing outfits that I love, that I feel good about myself on. I'm having a good time. I'm loving myself a lot more. That toxic relationship that I went through with that person, anything that person said about me before did not affect me, family wise, anything. Like, I just grew to love myself a lot more. And so around this time, my confidence grew. I'm wearing things I would never thought I would, what I'm saying? Like, I'm just having a good time. I'm loving myself. I'm active in so many organizations on campus. I'm trying to stay active, meeting new friends, just having a good time living life, because life can be gone tomorrow. And so going into 2024, I said I wanted to, go in with the change. So I started my running journey again. I knew my goal was I wanted to lose weight. Wanted to refocus on that. I started my running journey again. I started walking a lot more, just focusing more also on what I was eating. And I did it. I also said, Lord, I want to become a health ambassador for Pretty Girl Sweat. Pretty Girl Sweat is an organization that promotes healthy fitness amongst college women and women in general. So I just knew I wanted to do that, because before, you guys, a year before 2023, I was wanting to do it, but I procrastinated. I would have passed the deadline to sign up for the application. Okay. So, your girl was pushing a lot of things off. But I said 2024, I want to sign up. And I remember sending my video in and getting, the okay and the to do so, to start the organization at ECU, Pretty Girl Sweat ECU. And I did that, you guys. And I was actually offered to go to Pretty Girl Sweat Fest as well. I went to Pretty Girl Sweat Fest as well and met so many people. I got a Sweat Celebrity Award. Also that year, you guys, I competed in my first pageant. I competed in 2 pageants in the year 2024. Now, however, was it the best experience with the people that was running it? Oh, hell no. Hell no. Hell freaking no. Okay, but listen, listen. Again, like I said, God will put you through things. God will show you. There's always a lesson, right? There's always a lesson. And when I tell you guys the experience that I got from that, God showed me a lot of people are threatened by you. Yeah. A lot of people envy you. A lot of people are jealous of you. A lot of people can't stand your confidence. And when I tell you, baby, God showed me, men and women, a lot of people just can't stand your confidence, girl. Listen, that's truly when I realized how much power I truly had. So when God showed me that, I said, you know what? One thing about me is you can't take something that God gifted me with. Okay? So that year was a year of God showing me how courageous I was. God showing me, even with my content, promoting my fitness journey on my page, God showing me, Azariah, your purpose is to make a difference in people's lives. You can heal people. You can help people. Your purpose is to inspire people. And around this time too, I'm creating content. I'm putting my content out and everything. In my mind, I want to do so many different things, but I'm like, God, I still don't know. So I kept on running away from it. I was running away from so many ideas, y'all. Running away from so many ideas because I didn't believe in myself enough. Even God is showing me, Azariah, you were doing all this stuff. You are literally the blueprint. You are the blueprint. You have something that a lot of people don't have, and you are the blueprint right here. Take pride in it. So it was so much stuff that God is showing me. Keep your head high and have confidence. And I said, God, you're right. So making those achievements, even though it came with trials and tribulations, God was testing me. God was preparing me to where I'm going to go. So that year, 2024, you guys, I made a lot of things happen. I lost over 30 pounds. Okay, I broke my plateau that I was on for a good minute, y'all. And I made it happen. God made it happen. And I said, you know what, God? I'm going to 2025, y'all. I said, you know what, God? I truly want to grow closer to you. I said, I want to attend church every Sunday. I want to start to read my devotional more. I wanted to start to, do what I can a lot more. And I did that. So this year I said, we picking it up, we pushing it. So that's what I've been doing this past year, you guys. This past year has been a test from the Lord. And when I tell you guys, everything I've been through has led me to who I am today. And my story, I can go on and talk about my story for hours and hours. But that's why we have this channel, right? That's why I have this podcast. That's why I have this podcast, because that I just gave you guys just a glimpse of what my story is. And we're going to dive deeper. And I could be here all day. And I don't want to keep you guys too long, okay? But yes, I did go through a lot of body dysmorphia. It was times where I didn't love myself. And that confidence, it takes time. It takes time to build that confidence. It does. It takes so much time. It takes so much strength. So I gave you guys just a little glimpse of my story on this episode. And what also helped me too, I wanted to give you guys some tools. I want to go ahead and give you guys some tools that you can take within yourself that helped me along my journey. So 1, write this down, get your pen and paper, okay? So 1, what helped me was writing down affirmations. Listen, when you say affirmations to yourself, I promise you it makes so much of a difference, okay? So I want you to get pen and paper, get your phone, open up your notes right now. I want you to start your note and everything, okay? And I want you to start writing down your affirmations. I want you to say, I am beautiful, I love my body, and I am worthy. And every moment when you don't feel like that, I want you to write it down. Even when you are feeling it, I want you to write it down. Write those 3 words down. Okay? I love my body, I am worthy, and I can do it. I want you to write it down. I want you to write down, honestly, pick any words that you feel to describe yourself. I'm beautiful, whatever. Pick 3 words to describe yourself, and I want you to write it down. Write it down in your notes. Put the date, time, whatever you have to do to document it, and do that. Because that's actually what I started back in 2021 when I was in my freshman year at A&T. Every single time I felt low, I felt like I had to write it down, put it in. So that's the one key takeaway from this episode. Before we end this episode, write down your positive affirmations daily. And I want you to say it out loud. Because again, when you're casting those words, you're casting above you, okay? So make sure you're casting it out, okay? 2, I want you to dig deep, and I want you to look in the mirror every single time you wake up. And I want you to say something positive that you love about yourself. Whether that's your hair, whether that's your lips, your face, your body, your kind spirit. Okay? I want you to look in the mirror and tell yourself how much you love yourself. And then 3, y'all. I want you to write down where you see yourself in the next few years. And I know, sometimes we can get caught up in our plan. Obviously, we have to follow God's plan. But I want you to write down your goals and your aspirations. Okay. So first, remember, before we end this episode, make sure you're writing down your daily affirmations every single time you don't feel low or even when you feel high. 2, say your affirmations to yourself in the mirror. Okay, when you're in the mirror, tell yourself, say a beautiful thing about yourself. Really look in the mirror and dig deep into your soul. Okay, make sure you do it, girl. Okay. 3, I want you to write down 3 to 5 goals that you want to accomplish in the next 5 years. Write it down, and then put action to it. Okay. So those are the 3 things, the 3 key takeaways. All right, I gave you guys just a little bit of background about myself. Again, like I said, on this podcast, I'm going to go a lot deeper into certain topics because, again, my story is way bigger than about 30 to 35 minutes, okay? But I'm not going to keep you here all day. So listen, if you enjoyed this episode, if you felt something in your soul, and if you related at all, please make sure you guys put it in the comments below, okay? Or DM me, text me. As always, you guys, please make sure that you guys follow me on all platforms. Okay, I am Azariah Monet on Instagram. That's like my lifestyle content and like more of that type. And then my fitness page is Azariah_fit. Okay, I post all my fitness content, my meal prepping, what I eat and everything. And since we are going into the month of September, you guys, I am taking on more one-on-one online coaching clients. Okay, online coaching, fitness coaching. So if you're wanting to start your journey, you don't know where to start, if you want to get more introduced into strength training, more to body recomping, or just live a lot of a healthier lifestyle, please feel free to comment and follow me. All right, make sure you follow that page, okay, and click the link in my bio, and you're gonna type in www.azariahfit.com, and we can get you started. I do all accountability calls, all accountability workout plans. I will create your workout plan, your meal plan. We will have our one-on-one check-ins, and you have also access to our accountability group chat. So if you're interested, please make sure you go to my website below, and we'll lock in, we'll set up a meeting, get you started into jumpstarting your fitness journey if you don't know where to start. As always, you guys, please be sure to let me know if you guys have any questions as well. Please let me know. Okay, make sure you guys follow, like, and subscribe to this channel, okay, on YouTube, Azariah Monet. Okay, and I want you to come back and stay tuned for episode 3. Episode 3, we will go from talk about discipline versus motivation, and I know a lot of y'all need it. Okay, I know a lot of y'all don't know the difference. Okay, so we're gonna break it down with discipline versus motivation and put an action between our words. Okay, so thank you guys for just taking the time to be here with me tonight. I definitely enjoyed this episode. All right, please make sure you guys follow me on all platforms. This will be available on Spotify and Apple Music and other platforms as well. And as always, you guys, I want to leave you guys with this. Remember, there's beauty behind your eyes, and you just have to tap in to see it and believe it and to love it. And listen, if God is telling you to do something, go ahead and do it, because one thing no one can take away from you is your gift and your talents that God has given you. Okay, I love you. All right, I love you, my internet besties, and I will see you guys on the next episode. Bye.